Hi, Orange Girl here with another scrapbooking process video for you today. I am up on the Flair for Buttons blog today, and I am scrapping these pictures of my daughter. The weekend that we went, it was 4th of July weekend, and we went to a hotel, and she learned how to swim across the pool. And as soon as I saw these color cast designs, Splish Splash, and this beautiful color, and then all this confetti that came in a couple of different colors, these were all in the June release. As soon as I saw them, and then this Pool Time specifically, Flair, I knew that I really wanted to use these whenever I ended up with the correct story and pictures to go with some sort of swimming theme, and here it happened over the 4th of July weekend. So I'm using a cut file there from a free file from the paper issue store, and my idea is I'm going to put the two pictures opposite each other, put some of the waves underneath from the cut file, and then add this Splish Splash as my title, and actually it's Splish Splash Summer Fun, I think is what the title ends up being, because I use the Splish Splash color cast material and then the Summer Fun Flair kind of as my title. So that's what ends up happening, and I move stuff around a ton. It always ends up pretty much back where it started with a few exceptions, but I knew this was about how I wanted it. I wanted the 3 parts, but I knew I also wanted to do mixed media behind it. So I thought, okay, I'll make more decisions later, and I'll just go ahead and do the mixed media piece. So because this is a swimming picture, I am using a couple of different inks from Lawn Fawn. One's called Peacock and one's called Mermaid, and they are blue with a hint of like aqua or green within it as well. And then I'm using a colorings from Shimmers called Oh Say Can You See. I actually won that in a contest on Instagram, which was pretty exciting, and I'm enjoying playing with them. So I'm going to make these 3 blobs, basically. 2 blobs. I don't know where I'm smushing it. You see what I'm doing here with a block. And then mostly just splatters underneath the title. Okay, so there I go, splattering underneath the title. So what I did is I'm just putting the ink right directly on the block, adding some water to it, and then smushing it on the page. Or in this case, I'm using my water pen, my water brush, I guess, and adding even more water and flicking it onto the page so I have some splatters. Then mostly because of time and I'm just impatient, I just kind of wipe it off. Also, I didn't want it to be, I was kind of trying to go for subtle, light, airy, not my usual full of color, and I don't know, overdone, some might say, with color. Not for me, but I was trying to go with a more light and airy look with this layout. And I think I got that at the end. I really like how it ends up turning out. So like I said, here I am again messing around. I go back and forth. Do I want that Pool Time up on the top where I have it now, or do I want it over the water? And I end up deciding that I want the Pool Time Flair to be up at the top where it is now, but then I have to move some of the other stuff around because I didn't like the way it blended totally into the water and you couldn't see it as well. And since that was part of the inspiration for this, I wanted that to show up a little bit more. And then also, that stuff on the upper right corner isn't important, so I don't need to see that, and the water's more important. So I've decided that I know every time I move it, I'm having to re-deal with these waves. So I know I want the waves right where they are. So I'm just going to glue those down. I'm like, okay, just glue it down. Just make a decision. Glue it down. And wouldn't you know it, I glue these all down, and then I do end up having to move a couple of them. I don't remember if I do that on camera or not, but if I might have cut that out. But I do go ahead and use my fine line applicator or whatever it's called. I don't know, my fine line bottle, and glue that all down. It's perfect for small little things like that. It's also perfect when I'm working with the color cast materials. It works really well for that. So then you saw me start to flip through a 6x6 pad, and it has a bunch of great, I'm trying to find things that are, mostly trying to find things that are that kind of dark pink color that is in the stars from the color cast. It's also in that summer fun flare that I'm going to use. And so one of the things that I had a really hard time with decisions, and a lot of times you'll see me, every time I'm trying to make a decision, you will see me add more splatters of paint because I know, oh, I think I need more splatters, so I'll do that while I'm trying to make a decision, or add tissue paper, or add thread. So you can see it's so funny because this is such a simple layout. I mean, really it is, and I go back and forth so many times moving things around and trying to make decisions about what I want behind. What am I doing here? Where did I go? Oh, yeah, I remember. I wanted to kind of rough up the edges a little bit because I wanted it to stand out behind there. I didn't want very much color because I wanted the majority of the layout to be kind of that blue with a few pops of that pink. And so I didn't want a ton of color behind there, but I wanted a little bit of color to kind of get it off from behind the page a little bit. I don't know what I'm saying. So the other piece I had a hard time making a decision about was what I knew I wanted a border. And at this point, I think I'm going to use that pink border, okay? But I don't end up using that. In fact, I don't think I end up gluing this down until the whole entire layout is done, and I walk away and I come back the next day and determine, and I do that off camera, and decide that I want a different background than this pink. I go back and forth. You'll see me go back and forth, but I don't actually glue on camera because I think I waited till the next day. This is my other, so I was trying to decide, do I want that striped paper, the same paper that I used for these waves, or do I want, which is more subtle, which is what I was going for. That was my idea. That was my thought in my head. Or do I want that bright color, which I also like. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I'll add some more splatters. Good grief. I don't know what to do. I think I'll add some more splatters. So now, every time I go back and forth, oh, I added the, what you saw me do there is I went ahead and I typed up the journaling, and then I added it under the two pictures. And now I've decided every time I have to move something, these all go all over the place, and I know where I want them. That's something I know, so I'm gluing them down. So silly. See how perfectly these bottles work for these? It's awesome. So I really, this layout took me, I mean, if you don't count the times that I walked away, it took me about 45 minutes to make, which really isn't all that long, especially considering some of that time I was just twiddling my thumbs and looking at it and trying to decide, and considering how many times I moved things around. But as you see, the very first time I laid stuff down, oh, there I am. I'm having to move that up a little bit. I had to do the other one too. I don't know if I did that on camera or not, but anyway. This starts out very similar to how it ends, I guess is what I'm saying. I really did have a vision in my head, and I ended up really liking that idea. I don't know if you can see it there, but I also have a layer of that aqua blue color behind. You can kind of see it there behind that pink. So these are backed with two different pieces of paper, pattern paper, and then just the waves behind it. Boy, I'm so distracted today. I hope this video, I hope you understand what I'm doing. This is pretty much how it ends up. So coming up here soon, you're going to see me add some thread, and I kind of go back and forth between whether I wanted that kind of green color or if I wanted the pink, and the pink matched just perfectly, so that's what I ended up using. I'm going to put some, I think 3 different places behind both pieces of flare, and then behind those 3 hearts that are together up at the top picture. I'm going to put some thread behind that as well, and then I'm pretty much done. So the close-ups are coming here soon. I am on the Flair For Buttons design team as well as the Color Cast design team, and so I'm kind of overlapping these. You will find the close-ups of these photos on Instagram. You'll also find this on the A Flair For Buttons blog. So check it out there. Check out all of the great new stuff in the store on the Flair For Buttons store, because there is a ton of new stuff that I just cannot wait to get my hands on. And here I am, not deciding. Still last minute. There's just a few seconds left of this. I'm still going back and forth. Okay, so that's that. And here come the close-ups. Don't forget that every third Thursday is when the new color cast designs are revealed, and so those are coming up next week. So you'll want to stop by the store and check those out. I've seen a preview. They're pretty awesome. I think you're going to like them. Here come the close-ups. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below and I will do my best to answer them. Have a great day. Thanks for stopping by.